Hi, I'm Dylan,
And I'm Amy.
and this is our tiny house. The view you're looking at right now is the front of our house. It's the side we're going to be using most often. We're going in and out right through that door there. We'll have our campfires out in the front and be hanging out here probably most of the time. As you can see, we have our trim around the door already with molding. Looks pretty nice, as well as the window. And you can also see a little bit of the roof. We're using a material that's Australian, and it's half asphalt and half organic material. I can't pronounce it for the life of me. What's it called?
Andavilla.
Andavilla.
He butchers that.
Yeah. Crikey. So the white stuff underneath the trim is called soffit, and that's our part of our siding that covers the wood. Otherwise, you would see some wood underneath.
So our siding is on its way. We're planning on doing the bottom half with a gray colored vinyl, a double lap, 5 inches, and then we'll have a white strip running above that, the whole length of the house. And then above that white strip is all going to be a dark stained cedar. So it's going to look really nice, I think, with the contrast of the two different colors. And then we'll have incorporate bits of the black roof and the black trailer, and all the white trim is going to tie it together nicely. So
I was happy with the house wrap. So now we're moving to the front hand side of the trailer, and this is where a truck actually hooks up to our hitch. This guy right here, this big black thing, is the tongue of the trailer. And we're going to use this empty space to house our 2 propane tanks. And we're going to build a nice enclosure for them so they can be hidden by the elements and protected.
we also have these 2 utility boxes that I built.
You built.
So this one's gonna sit right here like so, and I'm gonna do it wrapped in the same cedar that's gonna be at the top of the house so that it matches. And it's gonna be a barn door style front door. That's just gonna swing open this way and give us access to the inside. This one's gonna be housing some tools, just so that we have them while we're traveling in case we need to fix anything. Hopefully nothing ever breaks, but I don't think that'll be the case. And then we'll have a mirrored one on the other side of the trailer, and that one is gonna be housing our tankless water heater, which Dylan can tell you about.
All right.
But the reason we went with a tankless water heater as opposed to a traditional tank water heater is that it takes up a lot more space, and this one will give you unlimited hot water because it just heats it on demand as you need it, as opposed to a tank water heater only has a finite amount of hot water in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I like long showers. So.
Yeah, we both like long showers. So yeah, like this little cute guy is our water heater, and its positioning is actually pretty good because we only have to go a few feet from those propane tanks I was talking about to input and to power this thing. The other resource it uses water, of course, cold water, and cold water will come in through the right-hand side into this unit and then come out hot. And into this wall, we'll have both our cold and hot water running into the house. So this is kind of our main entry for water, and it'll fit a nice little utility shed like Amy was talking about.
This is our bathroom window, and then above we have an outlet.
Yeah, so both of these things might look funny. The first one, this window being here and not in the center, I'll explain when we're inside. And then the outlet was supposed to be for our outdoor AC unit. So we have what's called a half split system. It's meant for small rooms and tiny houses. And the way it works is there's an outside unit that's powered by electric, and that's what actually makes the exchange of hot to cold or cold to hot air. And the idea was that we would mount it on the front of the trailer here. In order to connect the two, though, you have a pipe called a coolant pipe running from the inside unit to the outside unit. And that pipe from the brand we bought is 16 feet exactly. Well, I swore I measured it 3 or 4 times, and it was right. It was like 15 or 16 feet. But when I remeasured it the last time, it was 17. And along with the kinks, we have to do, like there's a kink here, a kink there, a kink here, it would reduce the efficiency of the coolant pipe the more corners you have to bend into it. So that's another factor. And then the last factor is that the coolant pipe would have to go over this edge of the roof in order to come down to this side. So it's not a gutter. It just looks funny because it'd be in the middle of the roof, not on the edge.
Just draped over it.
Draped over it.
Pretty.
No. So we decided to scrap that idea and we'll show you what we did instead. But
But now we just have a dedicated outlet for Christmas lights,
Yeah.
which I'm happy with. So.
yeah, that's Christmas lights.
So this side of our house, we're kind of calling the utility side. This is on the driver's side of the house. So we did some research, and it seems like at most RV parks and campgrounds, all of the utilities are on the driver's side. So we have all of our hookups over on this side.
hmm And the first hookup that we come across is underneath the trailer. Actually, this is a drain for all of our dirty water. It's actually just gray water, and gray water just means that it's water coming from your sink or your shower, but there's no human waste in it. And we're not going to like use a kitty litter box. We have a compost toilet, and a compost toilet basically breaks up your human waste into like a dry kind of like
Almost like a soil.
like a soil. Yeah, like a soil. So every once in a while, we have to take it out and dump it. We'll show you where it's going to be and all that
On
stuff.
the inside.
Yeah, but basically, long story short, there's going to be a pipe coming out here that will go right into the ground for where the campground has their drain system.
So moving right along, we have our huge kitchen window right here, which I'm calling my Disney princess window. So I'm going to stand there and do dishes, and the windows open outwards like this. So I open them up, and the birds all come and flock to me. So
Or me.
it'll be nice. And again, we did all of this trim around them to kind of just make it pop a little bit more, especially once we have the siding in. It'll look really nice.
Yeah, it's white now, but once we have the dark siding around it, it's really going to look nice and have a nice contrast. So here, that long spiel about a coolant pipe, here it is. This sexy looking thing is called a coolant pipe. And like I was saying before, it's exactly 16 feet long. And this thing runs to the exterior unit. And this little guy looks like it's a breathing tube, but it's for condensation. So in the warm weather, we're gonna have cold air inside the house, so it builds condensation in the indoor unit, and it drains out here.
Continue along. This is our last utility hookup on this side of the house, but this is our inlet. So Dylan got this hookup just from Amazon actually, and this is a 50 amp inlet. So most campgrounds actually have 30 amp, but we wanted to kind of overshoot it in case we ever do come across one that has a 50 amp. We'll be able to blow dry my hair and
And power all my tech stuff at the same time. I really hope there's a lot of 50 amp places.
Yeah.
We're kind of banking on that a little bit. But just in case, we have this great little adapter. So this takes your 50 amp connection and turns it into a 30. And if you've ever installed your washer dryer or our electrician, you recognize this as 30 amp. So what we're doing is just converting 30 amp or 50 to 30 with this connection. And then we are putting it right in here and doing a nice little turn. And that hooks up our house. But campground's obviously a little bit different from at home. So we have, this is the 30 amp, the end of the 30 amp, and another adapter that goes into your typical household 120 volt.
so it goes from 50 to 30
30.
to 15 to siphoning all the electric from Dylan's parents.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
So that's all the utilities on the driver's hand side of the house. What we're going to show you now is the last section we have not covered yet. This is the back. This is the back of the house, right?
Yep.
Back of the house. So, like I was saying, instead of the air conditioning condenser unit being in the front, along with the other stuff like the propane tanks and the water heater, it's going to sit in the back here. And the added bonus to doing it, besides the less kinks and it actually be able to fit and everything, is that there's more weight on the back of the trailer, and that's safer because it makes it more stable as you're driving. If you do a sharp turn, the trailer's not going to wobble back and forth nearly as much if there's an unsafe ratio of weight to the front of the trailer. It's called tongue weight ratio, I think it's called. And right here you can see this is our beginning of rough-in for the last outside electrical outlet. Not for Christmas lights, for our AC unit.
And then this is probably the last window we'll show you. This is in our living room. We actually had to adjust the sill height a little bit when we installed this one because it was actually butting up and hitting this trim board, but problem solved. we're still deciding if we want a left window up here. Actually, it just came to us cracked, so we were super excited about that and having to order a new one and wait another 4 weeks. But it will look nice having those 2 big windows at the top when it's done, and let a bunch of light into our living room. It'll look good.
Mm-hmm. So we're just going to turn around the corner here and show you one last little thing. This is what's called an outside corner of J-channel. And in order for your siding to look pretty and not show any edges, you need to install this on every one of your corners. So this is, like I said, this is an outside corner. We have a couple inside corners we have to deal with, and they'll fit right in here. They'll look a little bit different. But basically what happens is this little device or this little component has a gap in it, so you can just slide your siding in and like that, and it'll hide it, make it look nice. These have to go on first, and we still have to wait for our siding to show up anyway, so we're just gonna get this done in the meantime. Mm-hmm. Yep. So that concludes our little outdoor section. Hope you enjoyed. We're gonna move on to the inside now.
Yep.
So
come on in.
Come on in.
So welcome inside. Right now we're standing in what's going to be our living room area. So we'll actually have a couch right here, and it's going to be modular, meaning we can take it apart into different pieces and kind of rearrange them so that we can have either a couch, like a sitting surface, or maybe a bed for when people are over, that sort of thing. So behind the couch, we're going to have this area here for more storage, and I'm hoping to find something that actually pulls up and has some shelves in it, and then we can push it back down when it's not in use. So it would be perfect for that little area. We have the living room window back here, as well as the triangle windows up here that are going to let in tons of light, and it'll be bright and airy feeling in here. Color scheme wise, we're going to have white on all of the walls, almost like a tongue and groove paneling, and then the ceiling is going to be a dark stained barnwood, and then the floors are also going to be a dark wood, so it should come out looking really nice.
Mm-hmm. And if you see this up here, this is our little tech shelf. It's a tiny little shelf. It's got 3 outlets in it because we're going to have our media server, our hotspot, and our Philips Smart Hub all hooked up on it. And in addition, it's going to have a nice little projector mounted to the top here, and it's going to be pointed this direction. So when we want to watch a movie or TV or whatever, we can pull down the projector screen and just have this projector pointed towards that, so that we don't have a bulky TV whenever we're not using it. It's not using up space. And then in the corner over here, this is the hub of the electric system. And like outside we were showing you the inlet, this is where the inlet comes into the house and actually powers things. Right now we have one outlet on, and it's all wired up and no sparks or anything, so it's all good. Up here is the inside unit of the outside AC system we were showing you earlier. This guy's all hooked up, ready to go. We've been testing it, and it works great. Yeah, it's been heating our house, and it will cool our house in the summertime. I plan on hooking up this smart system somehow, but I have to finagle something because they just gave us a remote. So I have to reverse engineer it and hook it up to that smart system we have up here.
Nerd speak.
Nerd speak. And the kitchen?
Yeah, we'll move down into the kitchen over here. So this will be the main kitchen area. We'll actually have a table over here that will be like a drop leaf table, so we can fold it down and it gives us more room over here. Kitchen sink is going right here. It's going to be a big farmhouse style one with a front apron, be really pretty. And then further back here we have the stove and oven, which is going to be propane powered. And then a vent hood up here, which is what that outlet is for, because that takes a little bit of electric, I think. Mm-hmm. The fridge will be over on this side, and we're just doing like an apartment-sized fridge, like 10 cubic feet. But we still managed to keep that triangle that they always say you should have in the kitchen, with the sink and the stove and then the fridge over here. So hopefully it'll still be feeling nice and open. We'll have cabinets down below, and I found a bunch of different stuff online with different types of pulls and all types of drawer slides that give you tons of storage in the cabinet. So hopefully that will all work out well.
Mm-hmm. And you'll see throughout the house we have this red and this blue tubing. As you probably can guess, unless you're colorblind, that this is cold and hot water, and this will run through our house. And this flexible stuff is called PEX. It's super easy to install, very, very nice stuff. I would say it's easier to install than the electric, which is pretty awesome. And then the white stuff, this is the drain. This is the entrance to the drain unit. We showed you the exit. This is where all the gray water will come in and drain out at the end.
So moving backwards into the bathroom back here, the wall is actually going to be this direction. You can see it kind of just propped up against the wall here, but it will be back here, and I'm going to build a barn door that slides out of the way to actually enter into the bathroom.
Mm-hmm. And when you're first facing inside the bathroom, on the left-hand side over here is where compost toilet's going to be. And there's no rough in there, as you can tell. It's because the compost toilet's going to do all the work for us, except for actually taking out the soil and putting it outside. That's some manual work. But you notice that the window to the left seems kind of out of place. There's a huge, big square stud back there. It looks like it's for a window, and originally it was supposed to be, but it's too big of an opportunity to put the next smart mirror in. The first version wasn't touchscreen, or it wasn't touchscreen. It didn't have an ecosystem on it. This next one's going to have a touchscreen and it's be running Android. So we're going to have all these crazy apps on it, and you can see weather and like the commute to work and compliments about Amy and all kinds of stuff.
Tell me how good I look every day.
Yeah, exactly. And then below it will be the sink, of course. It's already roughed in, as you can tell. And then to the right of that, we're going to have our shower. And here's a good example of our insulation. Right now, it's the entire, you can't tell, but the entire floor underneath this wood floor is this, what's it called, Roxol? Roxol. And it's actually made of pulverized rock. And it's flame retardant, it's water resistant, and it's fluffy. And it's made of rock. So
cuts really easy.
yeah, it cuts super easy. Just don't breathe this stuff. It makes your throat itch. Like
We
for
were
a long
coughing all
time,
day.
and cough and itch. It's pretty nasty stuff, but it's great for your floor.
And it has a high R value as compared to fiberglass, meaning that it insulates really well and it holds the warmth inside here.
Mm-hmm. So the reason that we have to figure out our drain over there is kind of an awkward spot, but we'll have a shower pan down there, and we'll also build either metal or wood watertight enclosure in that corner to keep wood from going, or keep water from going behind the wood and going to the electric system. That'd be pretty bad. But that's our bathroom. So as you come out of the bathroom again, and we're looking at the left-hand side, we have this crazy contraption here, and this is also a drain. It's kind of like the kitchen sink drain, where the washer dryer is just going to drain in here, and it's going to go down into the main system. But the main system also needs to have ventilation. So that's why there's another T here that will go straight up through the roof, and it will exit and let all of the nasty, smelly air exit our house rather than exit inside the house, potentially, and smell weird, smell bad. So that's our washer dryer combo.
That's our laundry room.
Laundry. It's a laundry room. So also with the laundry room, there's no windows. There's not a whole lot of light coming in. Our solution is to have these strips. There's an outlet here, and there's an outlet on the other side, and they'll have LED strips running on top of a molding against the ceiling here of the dormer. And that's where we'll have some Philips smart LED lights. And those will communicate with the smart hub above the shelf. So it'll be on a schedule, turn on at a certain time, turn off at a certain time. We can change the color we want to, change the brightness. And it can also be hooked up to the projector, so during a movie, if the background changes or the foreground changes, our lights will reflect to what the projector's showing. So it'll be like a whole house experience, like IMAX tiny house. That'll be pretty cool. Yep.
So as we move forward a little bit, we're going to have a storage staircase right here. So I already told you the fridge is going to be right here, but the rest is all going to be more cabinets with extra storage space over here. Additionally, we're going to use some of those LED strips on each stair, so they're going to light up as you step on each one, which is going to be really cool. And then that staircase leads you up into our sleeping loft up here. So we are going to put a full-size mattress or a queen. It would fit either. And then some end tables on each side for like our phones or for books or whatever we need right at our bedside. We have another area up here on the right-hand side that we're thinking of is going to be more storage for maybe some clothes and folded stuff, but we haven't totally made that decision yet.
Yeah.
But that concludes the interior tour. So thanks so much for tuning in.